It's almost Christmas. Good Monday morning.
Happy 23rd of December, and thanks to KC Security for sponsoring us over the Christmas holidays and forever.
Forever. We appreciate it. How was the weekend?
Lovely. Saturday night, went out with over to a friend's house, and then Friday night that was. Saturday, I went to see It's a Wonderful Life, the radio play. It was their closing night. Holy wonderful.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, everything about it was perfect. I cried. I don't know how many times I cried. I was bawling at the. It was like,
Aww.
Seriously, beautifully done. Amazing ensemble work. So clever. Adding a local flair. Commercials that were added in that were written as though they were written like 1947.
Awesome.
Like they did a commercial for Pino's live on stage, and they said,
Really?
yeah, and they created a jingle, and then they said bread, 5 cents a loaf. And then price is valid until December the 24th, 1944.
Gosh.
It was so clever. Anyway, the story is beautiful as always, but magical. It was magical.
Who directed that?
Sandra Forcell and her husband Mark Baudet.
She's phenomenal.
They're both
Yeah.
extreme. They're both. That's what they went. That was their life before they came back to Sault Ste. Marie. Was they were professional actors. And anyway,
every time she comes to visit Tim, I always tell Tim after she leaves, she's a gorgeous woman.
Yeah,
she's beautiful
inside and out.
Yes.
Mark, her husband, played the lead role, the Jimmy Stewart part.
Ah, really?
And by the end of the show, after what's happened is the Clarence the Angel, welcome back, Jarrett Mills, fabulous actor, moved back to Sault Ste. Marie. Anyway, after Clarence takes the character through George Bailey through his life and shows him what the world would be like if he hadn't been born.
Right.
And by the end of it, it's so overwhelming that George Bailey and Mark Baudet, the actor, is standing at the edge of the stage just saying, I want to live, and tears, and I want to live, I want to live. And I just felt like standing up and going, me too, I want to live too.
I want you to live. Just stay alive, will you?
Fabulous. Just
awesome.
Fabulous. And then home to curl up and just spend a lovely evening.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Sounds like it was lovely.
It was.
Boy, it's warm out. Right?
Isn't it nice?
I love it. I
guess they were in shorts in Toronto.
Oh, really?
Toronto. Yeah. A friend down there sent a message out saying, no, I was in shorts today.
Wow.
Yeah. Is this supposed to continue?
For a lot of the week, yeah. At least until Boxing Day. Apparently.
That's good. Okay, so we fly out Boxing Day. I hope you all... Never mind. Well,
Stop it.
Well, a little. Just
Stop
a little.
it.
Maybe a blizzard while I'm gone.
See, that's not nice of you to say that. Shame on you.
Shame on me.
Merry Christmas, you Grinch.
And Happy Hanukkah. Last night was the first night of the first day of Hanukkah, the 8 days of the Festival of Lights. It began at sunset on Sunday. Now, Hanukkah is to celebrate the rededication of the Second Temple of Jerusalem. So you see, what happened was that they were the Maccabees. It was the Maccabean revolt against the Seleucid Empire. They were like the Greeks, right? And they were trying to they were like taking over territories and stuff, and they were like wiping people out, and they took over the temples and everything, right?
Really?
Yeah. So this was a revolt, and they got their temples back. And so on the first day, what happened was they wanted to go and they wanted to clean out the temples. They rebuilt the walls, right, and the gates rather, and they removed the dead bodies and they purified it from the defilement of from the other people being in their temples, right? And so, but they wanted to continue to work, and it was getting dark, and so they couldn't find any pure olive oil to burn. Only this one thing of olive oil, and it was only supposed to last one night. It burned for 8 nights, and they were able to complete their work, and so that was the miracle of Hanukkah, and that's why they light the menorah, one candle for every day of the 8 days where the oil burned.
Oh, I wondered why there were 8.
Yeah, it was 8 days the oil burned.
You're just so full of it. Information, I mean.
Yeah. And it's Celebrate Your Roots Day today. So
Celebrate Your Roots?
Yes.
Mine aren't that bad.
They're excellent, actually.
Right, see?
No, you keep up on those, don't you?
Yeah, I do. I stay right on it.
Celebrate your roots so you can go back and look at your family tree or whatever. Have you ever done that?
My dad went back to the 1720s to France. My dad's French-Canadian, as am I. And he went back to, my maiden name is Boursier, and he went back as far as finding out that there was royalty in our lineage, and we used to be Boursier de la Vigne.
La Vigne of the vine? No.
Yeah, sure.
That's why she likes wine.
Yeah.
She's royalty. She's the queen of the vine.
Exactly. But you know what? My dad was so keen on that whole concept of it. Yeah. And he used to try and talk to me about it, and I'd be like, yeah, whatever. And now I'm so interested in it, and, you know.
My brother did it for us.
Really?
Well, Sean was always very, very interested in what do you call that?
Lineage, heritage.
So Sean was with the Musical Ride when he first joined the RCMP. One of his first gigs was with the Musical Ride, and it was for the 100th anniversary of equestrianism in the Royal Canadian Mounted Police, I believe. I think that was what it was.
I've emceed some of their musical rides that have come to Sault Ste. Marie because I can do both French and English.
Oh, cool!
So
I remember.
so emotional, very proud.
Yeah, and he'd never ridden. Sean hadn't ridden a horse.
Oh,
no, he learned at the art. They taught him.
No kidding.
Yeah. Oh look. There was. See the one. Oh look. See the one. Look on your right of the screen, Luann. See that one tail?
Yes.
That was even on the quarter too. If you looked at the quarter, remember the RCMP quarters?
Yes.
That horse's tail was up then too.
Really?
Yeah. Anyway, my mother used to save those Mountie quarters because her son was a Mountie.
Aww.
And she always just. Anyway, so he got to go to Ireland.
Right.
And he took that opportunity to go and visit like churches and get baptismal certificates and check
go to
graveyards.
Cemeteries.
We got back. I think Sean got back to the 1600s. I think in our family. I think so.
I find it so intriguing.
I haven't really read all. Look, it's this thick.
Yeah, right. Yeah. And I find it really interesting because I really like cemeteries.
Yeah,
it's kind of a weird thing, but. You know?
Do you like but you know what? It's historical and it's got a sense of
especially old ones where the stones kind of have moss on them and stuff.
When I was little, I used to when I was younger, I used to go to the one on Queen Street because that was like right there, right down by Pine Street, and a lot of them had like little baby headstones. So I used to go and look. Yeah, that's always sad. But when you're I don't know why I mentioned that. It's like when you're a kid, you think, wow, somebody...
You just wrecked my whole day.
No, think about... Okay, well, how about this? I have a really good show for you today.
Awesome.
Okay, yeah.
That cheered me up.
We've had 2 students here from Korah Collegiate for the last 4 months. So they were doing a placement here. What do you call that?
Placement.
Yeah. Co-op. Thanks, Audrey. And Audrey was a co-op student from St. Mary's, and now she works here. And so these 2 young ladies have been a co-op student for 4 months, and we'll tell you what the project they're working on now that involves Christmas and the holiday season. And then also, Gabrielle Turgeon is home for Christmas. Gabrielle is a classically trained singer. Her father and mother are classical pianists here in the Sault.
Oh, really?
Yes. Well, they moved to Sault Ste. Marie from Florida. But yes.
Wow. There's a culture shock for you.
Well, she talks a little bit about that because she was, I think, 11 when she moved here.
Aye.
But anyway, Gabrielle is up. She's studying in Toronto and she's up for this major scholarship. So I took the opportunity to interview her while she's home for the holidays. And of course, Luann has the news.
I do.
Are you feeling better now?
I do. I feel great now.
No more gravestones. Okay. We'll be right back with the interview with the 2 students from Korah Collegiate who've been here for the last 4 months right after this.
Year we've been celebrating our 65th anniversary, dating back to services originating in our community in 1954, which is quite some time ago. It's been a great opportunity this past year to recognize the pioneers, the stakeholders that worked tirelessly to create what we are today. I'm grateful for everything that the families 65 years ago and the people that assembled the organization have done in order for us to achieve the success that we're experiencing 65 years later.
In your home, lighting is just as important as style.
With PowerView Motorization from Hunter Douglas, you can schedule your shades to light up the room. Create privacy, or both, automatically. No hands required.
So your shades will always be in the right place at the right time in style. And it's only from Hunter Douglas.
was some footage that they just saw of when we were at St. Joe's Island. St. Joseph Central
Public School. St. Joseph Island Central Public School.
Hey, good for you. At least one of us knows where we were and who we are. Maybe we should tell them who we are, where we are, and who we are. My name is Tim. Welcome back to Mornings with Luann and Tim. These are my co-workers. This here is Liz, and that there is Rachel. Liz Richardson and Rachel Gabor. Students from Korah Collegiate High School. Hi, guys.
Hi.
How long have you been with us now here at ONNtv with your student placement?
Like 4 months?
Yeah.
Has it been that long?
I think so.
Yeah.
Wow, that's crazy. Okay, so tell me a little bit. Rachel, let's start with you. You're not from the Soo originally. You came to us from out west, correct?
Yes, yep, from Saskatchewan, small town, Karenport.
Right. Shout out to Karenport. What brought your family here?
So my dad changed jobs.
Yeah.
And so we just packed up and here we are.
Was this your first year here?
Yes.
What grade are you in?
I'm in grade 12.
What about you, Liz?
Grade 12.
Also grade 12. Okay.
Yeah.
So was this your first year in the Soo?
Yes.
What was that? Was that difficult? I mean, at your age too, I would think that did you grow up all your life up in?
Yes, I did.
Karenport?
Yes, we moved when I was like 2, so yeah, pretty much.
Is that rough? It's got to be rough.
Yeah,
All your friends,
yes.
even high school, especially in high school, you just made all your high school friends and come here for your last year.
Yes. Yeah, it was fun.
You didn't seem like a bitter person. You took it in stride.
Yeah. It was difficult at first, but I met Liz. We're friends now.
Right, good for you.
So yeah.
Now, Liz, what background did you have before you took the placement here? This was a co-op placement, right?
Right.
Which course is that at Korah Collegiate that allowed you to do a co-op here?
Photography, actually. Yes, I was interested in photography.
Who's your instructor?
Mr. Marshall was my teacher.
Okay, so Mr. Marshall, did he make all these arrangements to come for you to do your placement, or how did this work out?
No, our co-op teacher actually organized
there's a
it.
separate co-op person who's in charge of finding placements?
Right, so you need a course that relates to the placement that you're going to get. So I took like a film program sort of thing, and she took photography, so then they said TV station works.
When did you start working with cameras and photography? When did that develop that hobby or interest?
Probably the beginning of high school. I found an interest in it, and I've done things like at home too on my own time with the camera.
Do you do mostly digital stuff, or do you actually do stuff where you develop films?
We did have a unit in that in photography, but me personally, just normally digital stuff.
When I was a kid, I actually had an interest in photography too, and my father built me a darkroom.
Oh,
and
really?
I used to develop my own pictures and stuff, but it's a lot of work.
Yeah,
it's an expensive hobby too.
Right. Yes.
Right. I mean, it's different now in the digital age, I think. But now your background, you actually took some pretty cool courses back in Saskatchewan before you came here.
Yep. So I took one semester in grade 11 of a film program. So we just studied film, like film history and making movies and music videos and everything.
Was that always an interest of yours, or did that come as a teenager or what?
Yes. Like I always loved telling stories, but then I was like, I can't write anything, so I'll just make movies.
You actually, who was introduced me to this? You don't know that I did this, but I started watching the movies that made us. Who was talking about
that was me.
Yeah, you mentioned that in the office the other day about how it shows you movies that sort of shaped our lives and how they were made and the stories behind them. I watched a couple as well.
They're good, right?
They are very enjoyable. So it's kind of cool that you found this placement that actually meant something to you.
Yeah.
So in the 4 months that you were here, was there stuff that you learned that you didn't anticipate you'd learn about? Or let's talk with you, Liz, first. Anything in particular that really jumps at you like, wow, okay, that I had no idea that's how that worked? Or
Well, the green screen I thought was super, super cool. We only worked on it for a little bit, but I found that really cool. And even just our last thing, the Holiday Harmonies, we got to do the 2-camera production, which was super cool, and it was really fun to work from the beginning to the end.
You saw the project through from beginning to the end. What about for you? Anything in particular that stood out as a memory for you that you thought, wow, okay, this was really beneficial?
When we did the election, actually, like just being in and like all the crazy action and everything.
I forgot you were here for that.
That was really fun. I loved that.
And that was all live, running. And the debates and everything, right?
Yeah.
Wow, cool. So the Holiday Harmonies thing, for the audience, in case you don't know, last year, so when I grew up, and you know the story, when I grew up in Sault Ste. Marie, we had a TV station, CJIC. My Uncle Bob was the artist there. And there was a guy named Frank Gardy, who was really well known in Sault Ste. Marie, the whole Gardy family. And so what they would do is they would get us from our classrooms and put us on a bus, and we would go down to the TV station, and we would sing, our whole choir would sing in the TV studio. And Mrs. Stewart would play the piano and stuff, or somebody would play the piano. And then you could go home after school and you could watch yourself. And I always thought that was the coolest thing. So now that we have on TV, I thought, I'd like to revisit that and maybe bring it back again. And so I called it Holiday Harmonies. Did it last time for the first year. We got lots of buy-in from the school boards. They love the idea. So this time around, we all kind of got the idea of, since you guys work with go to the ADSB, and this is a co-op placement, how cool would it be if this became your sort of final project for the show?
Right.
So let's talk a little bit about, I took care of the logistics just as far as booking and stuff.
Yeah.
Were you surprised at how organized the schools were? Because I'm always impressed when you get about 30 or 20, 30, as many as 40 kids together in a gymnasium. It could be pretty pandemonium.
Crazy.
What was your experience like, Liz, with the whole thing?
Well, I actually thought they were really organized, and they were super behaved, and I think it went really, really well.
So do I. Now, from the two cameras perspective, was that you guys kept trading places and stuff? Explain what that meant to the audience who may not know what happens with two different cameras, how one is designated.
Okay, so we have one set as a wide shot. It doesn't move or anything. It just stays still, gets the whole picture, and then the other camera is like the zoom camera, and you can pan or zoom in close to their faces and stuff like that. So yeah, we would switch out every...
Then that's only part of it. Then you've got to get back here. You've got all your footage. We might have as many as 3 takes from one
song. Yeah.
So then you got to go into the editing process. So that's time consuming, isn't it?
Yeah.
Would you say that the editing is the most tedious part, or what to you is the most tedious part of putting together this whole package that you've done? Which was the part that was like, oh God, here we go again?
Probably, I would say, when they do the same song over and over again, like each school does Jingle Bells or something.
Yeah.
Oh, I see what you mean, yeah. Also interesting, we went to 2 elementary schools. We visited St. Joseph Island Central Public School, as we said, and we also went to Pinewood. Right. Then we went to the high schools. We went to St. Mary's College and White Pines. What was it like being high school students, going into a high school, being behind was it awkward at all for you, or what do you think?
I don't think so. Like, we didn't really, like...
You didn't have a lot of interaction.
No, it was kind of just like, we're just doing a co-op placement, don't mind us.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so now, future plans. Are you done here like Christmas, or do you come back in the new year?
We come back, we end at the end of January.
Yeah, so January 20th-ish.
I'm gonna miss you guys. Like, you have to understand, talk about initiative. You guys have gone above and beyond the call. You've done more than probably anybody could have ever asked you to. You're always willing to do more. I think the Algoma District School Board and your teachers should be very, very proud of you. It's been a pleasure working with you and knowing you. What do you think the future holds for you? Will you continue to do this either as a career, pursue it as a hobby, post-secondary education? Let's start with you on that one, Rachel.
Okay, so yes, I will want to continue to do this. I would probably consider doing a TV job, even though originally I had been into like movies and stuff like that.
Right.
But yes, I would definitely get a job in this
industry.
Yeah.
Where do you see yourself as far as positions go? If it were film, would it be director? Would it be camera person? Would it
writer or director?
Very cool.
Both would be amazing.
How about you, Liz?
Well, I actually want to go into law.
Yeah.
Yes, but I feel like the skills that I've learned here would actually be super helpful for what I want to do, including like, questions and all that kind of stuff and even being confident in front of cameras and anything like that.
As a lawyer, you have to stand up in court. It's like being in front of an audience.
Exactly. Yeah. You have to have confidence, and you have to be able to
present yourself.
Yeah, and be able to ask questions even on the go sometimes. So I feel like the skills I've learned here would be very helpful.
Very cool. Do you think you're going to stick around in Sault Ste. Marie for a while, or? No, you're gonna head off. Hit the great. If you ever want to come back, just so you know, I mean, now that there's a TV studio here, there might be a job for you. And also with Northern Ontario Film, a lot of great things are happening here. Yeah. So maybe we'll see you back here working on a cruise sometime. Maybe you'll end up working on a film with Keith someday.
Maybe. Who knows?
Anyway, as I said, it's really been a pleasure working and getting to know both of you. Your family should be proud. Your school should be proud, and I'm proud to know you. And so we do hope you enjoy the holidays. I couldn't say it. I got stuck so many times saying that. Holiday Harmonies. We're airing them 4 o'clock on weekdays. Yeah, it starts tonight. We're airing this on Monday, the 23rd.
Right.
So as of this evening, 4 o'clock, from now right through the holidays to like January the 6th, they're going to be on 4 o'clock daily, and we're going to rotate. We created 2 half hours. Is that 2 half hours?
Yeah, I think, and we're creating a last one that's also a half an hour,
Like
but
just
it's
the
just highlights, yeah, clips.
Oh, very cool.
So I think in total 3.
So 3 actual productions came out of this, thanks to you guys, and thanks to the schools that participated. So those will be airing. You can check them out here on ONNtv, SaultOnline.com, and also on our YouTube View on Demand page. Thank you very much for making us look good. Happy holidays, Merry Christmas, and we'll see you in the new year. And we'll be back with Luann right after this.
This is On TV.
In your home, lighting is just as important as style.
With PowerView Motorization from Hunter Douglas, you can schedule your shades to light up the room, create privacy, or both, automatically. No hands required.
So your shades will always be in the right place at the right time in style. And it's only from Hunter Douglas.
Just when you thought it was safe to go back in the litter box, the saga of cats continues.
I don't want to go in a litter box.
Lou,
Yes.
they're going back and doing more CGI work on cat. You know, like
movie's out.
CGI, the stuff where they do all the stuff.
The movie's out.
Yeah, it's very seldom that a movie goes back in its first week into production, like into post-production again. They're going to continue to do more CGI work because, as the director Tom Hooper admitted, he barely got it done in time for the release. I don't know, why would you put that kind of pressure on yourself? So at one point, I guess
That's so weird.
at one point somebody said, well, how will you know if you see the old CGI, like the original CGI or the new CGI? And the response was, if you see Judi Dench with full human hands and her wedding ring on, then you'll know you're seeing the old CGI version.
No
Full
way.
on wedding ring and bare hands.
Stop it.
And so many of them have bare human hands, and it's
That's a basic thing you would think to watch for. I mean,
so there you go. It's going back. Tom Hooper's taking it back again and maybe getting rid of Judi Dench's wedding ring. There it is. Human hand and
that's
wedding
so
ring on her left
bad.
hand.
That is not professional. Holy moly.
I know.
So that's going to ruin them. Like, he's not going to make any money. I wouldn't go see it now.
Well, they already didn't,
Right?
They didn't do too well at the box office
that's what
anyway.
I mean. Yeah.
Oh well. On this date, are you ready for this one? In 1888, this was the day that Vincent van Gogh cut off his left ear with a razor.
Because
He had an argument with a fellow painter, Paul Gauguin. and he was in a manic state, and he cut off his ear. Others are saying he may have just gotten his his money from his family, because he kind of survived with money from his family that was sent him every month.
Right.
And along with the money, there may have been a note informing him that his brother was now engaged to be married, and that might have set him off, because that would mean his brother would become, after he got married, he would take over as the head of the family and be responsible for the finances. And maybe Vincent wouldn't get as much money. I don't even know. But anyway, he cut off his ear, and then he sent it to a brothel.
He sent it somewhere?
Yeah, he sent it to a young lady. She was 18 years old, and some people thought that she was a prostitute, but she wasn't. She was a maid in the brothel, and I guess they were friends, I don't know. And so he sent her his ear for safekeeping.
I don't want that for Christmas. If anybody's wondering, I'm good.
My question is, why would you send someone your ear for safekeeping? Did he have plans for it in the future?
Why? Yeah. And
maybe he thought they could do the whole thing like they did to John Wayne Bobbitt and reattach it. You remember that story? Yeah. Well, every time I see one of those trucks that go by that says Snap-on Tools, I think of John Wayne Bobbitt.
So she would have had to keep it in the freezer or something. And
they didn't have a freezer. It was 1888.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Well, so did you watch it rot?
Probably. Wouldn't that be nice? So anyway, there you go, Vincent.
Maybe she made a necklace.
Left ear. Starry, starry night. What'd you say?
Say what?
Oh, he missed all those Christmas carols. Like, what? She should have put it under his tree. That would have been good. Like, what'd you get for Christmas? I got my ear back.
Or hang it on his ear. Imagine hang it on his tree.
And at one time they thought that maybe he just cut off his lobe, but no, there's a doctor's drawing. He almost cut off the whole thing with a razor.
What a doofusy thing to do.
He was just mad. He was manic.
Speaking of turmoil, Eddie Murphy. Oh my word!
On Saturday Night Live, he made his return.
Huge return. 35 years it had been since he'd been on the show, and he did Gumby and Mr. Rogers and all of that. So they all came back.
And Buckwheat.
I didn't see it, but apparently it was spot on. But Bill Cosby was not happy with him afterwards, because during his monologue, Eddie Murphy said, talking about Bill Cosby, and he said, who's America's dad now? Well, apparently Bill was ticked off.
If you'd have told me 30 years ago that I'd be a father of 10 children and Bill Cosby would be in jail, I wouldn't have believed you.
So then a spokesperson for Cosby wrote a letter.
Did you read it?
And yes, I did. They are not happy.
It's his lawyer.
Bill, and Bill's like, you know what, if it wasn't for me, I was the first black person to win an Emmy Award, and if it wasn't for me, people like you wouldn't even be in the business.
And then he said, you are a
slave. You sold yourself as a slave to Hollywood.
You're a slave to television.
Yeah, well, you can do whatever you want while you sit in your jail cell, Bill.
These teas are free, slave. That was ugly.
Yeah.
Hey, okay, what?
I have news coming up.
Well, then let's do that.
Okay, let's do that. We're going to take a break first. We're going to come back, and I'll have some news for you.
Recently, the Government of Ontario established a $100 million affordability fund to help Ontarians who don't qualify for low-income conservation programs ease the burden of their electricity bill. Whether you rent or own your home, as long as you pay your electric bill, you could qualify. There are 3 levels of support available. The first is a home energy kit with upgrades like smart power bars and LED light bulbs. The second includes Energy Star appliances that help keep things cool during the hot summer months. The third is for electrically heated homes so that your power bills don't break the bank during those long Canadian winters. Plus, all upgrades, including installation, are completely free of charge. Visit affordabilityfund.org or call 1-855-494-FUND to find out if you qualify.
Toronto police say protesters dumped manure in front of Premier Doug Ford's constituency office yesterday. They say the incident happened around noon in the West End suburb of Etobicoke. Investigators say they responded to a call about the incident, but nobody's filed a police report. No charges have been laid. A statement from the Premier's office says that if a response is what the protesters are looking for, they're not getting one from Ford. The statement wished the protesters a Merry Christmas and says the government hopes the protesters have a more productive new year. The political war of words around the national economy took another turn on yesterday's political talk shows as the federal finance minister warned Conservatives to cease claims of a looming recession. Finance Minister Bill Morneau also suggested in separate broadcast interviews that the country's economic track will have a bearing on how the Liberals steer their budget in the coming years. On CTV's Question Period, Morneau warned his Conservative critics to avoid the irresponsible claims when private sector economists project growth, with the fiscal update estimated at 1.7% this year and 1.6% in 2020. The projections would make Canada's the second largest growing economy among G7 countries, behind only the United States. Conservatives claim the conditions are ripe for a made-in-Canada recession, fueled by the Liberals' spending policies, as the party's finance critic Pierre Poilievre claimed last Monday in the wake of the fiscal update. The last vehicles of an era rolled out of GM Canada's Oshawa assembly plant last week, but workers and the union behind them hope it's not the end of the line. The end of production at the plant, which assembled vehicles such as the GMC Silverado and Chevy Impala in the final years of its 66-year run, comes at a time of change and uncertainty in the auto industry as it grapples with slowing sales, trade disputes, and the steep costs of transitioning production to electric and autonomous vehicles. Analysts say that in this environment, there's no clear path ahead for the Oshawa facility or Canada's auto sector more generally, and it will have to be prepared to fight for the next generation of product commitments needed to sustain itself. President of Auto Forecast Solutions, Joe McCabe, sees conventional auto production in Canada as stable at best going forward, if not declining. The sector has already seen cutbacks in the past year at Ford's Oakville plant, Fiat Chrysler's Windsor plant, and of course GM's Oshawa assembly plant. He said the best bet for a major investment could be a new entrant, maybe from China, looking to get a North American foothold, but that it will take hard work and big money to lure a new plant to the province. Chicago police said a shooting at a house party early yesterday on Chicago's south side wounded 13 people, 4 of them critically.
We had an incident where there was a party at that address. Inside, there was a dispute where shots were fired inside, several shots. The people started to spill out, and I'm going from what I saw on the pod video now. People started to spill out, and as they spilled out, more shots were fired. We saw an individual on the pod firing. At that time, more shots were fired at another location. So we have about 3 scenes of different shell casings and different scenes where people shot, but it was right there in that location and stemming from that party. We have, at this time, 13 victims ranging in the age from 16 to about 48 years old. We have about 4 of them are critical, the others are stable.
For the first time, 69 Canadians are giving up their holidays at home to join the battle against the deadly wildfires devastating vast tracts of several Australian states. The Canadian Interagency Forest Fire Centre says a contingent of 21 highly trained staff from a variety of agencies left Canada on December 3rd for a 38-day deployment in New South Wales after the centre received an official request for assistance. On December 19th, a second group of 30 was sent in, and a further 18 are leaving on December 30th for about a month or so. The executive director of the Winnipeg-based CIFFC, Kim Connors, says that Canada has called on Australian firefighters 4 times since 2015, and the agreements are reciprocal. The CIFFC says crews from Newfoundland and Labrador Quebec, Yukon, Ontario, Manitoba, Saskatchewan, Alberta, and BC are all assisting with a variety of tasks, including roles in command, aviation, planning, logistics, and operations.
The staff and volunteers of the Bush Plane Museum would like to welcome everybody down to the Bush Plane over the Christmas holidays, and would like to wish everyone a Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays.
Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays!
I don't know if you know this or not, but Ryan Reynolds loves me. And he wants to marry me. So I've had to tell him, sorry, I'm already married. Mm-hmm. He is such an awesome representative of our country. He's a great actor. He's funny. He's just so hilarious.
Cute as the Dickens.
He so is. So last year, he was invited to a party at a house.
Did you go?
No, I didn't.
You weren't available that
No,
night.
I wasn't available. Jake Gyllenhaal was there.
Okay,
Hugh Jackman was there.
Oh.
And they told him that it was an ugly sweater party. No one else showed up in an ugly sweater. So they were all bugging him big time. And I mean, this sweater was ugly. It was like, had a big yellow bow on it. So what he did, there
for
it
heaven's
is.
sake.
Isn't that the best?
And look at the two of them laughing.
Yes, seriously. Look at his face, right? So this year he did a little animation of him arriving, getting the sweater and being laughed at. And from the sweater's perspective, he didn't get bought, and at the last minute, Jake comes in and buys him.
He did a little thing from the sweater's perspective.
Yeah, which was so adorable.
Did you watch it?
I did. It's very cute.
Where can I see it?
I'm sure if you Google it.
Okay.
Yeah. So he also is donating to sick kids. So there were tons of pictures on this story of kids sick kids in Toronto wearing the same sweater.
Oh,
all kinds of like there had to be 8 or 9 of them. So he said he will match every donation made to sick kids up until midnight Christmas Eve, up to $100,000.
Oh,
yeah.
I used to regularly donate. I had a regular thing where I would give to sick kids.
Right, yeah.
So I would, oh my goodness, I would do that then if he's going to match a donation, because I'm not doing that anymore. But that would be a nice
up to $100,000
one-timer up until midnight Christmas Eve.
Yeah.
I might just oh shoot! I was going to say it was something about the ugly sweater. Oh, I know. Okay, so if you watch tomorrow's interview. I interview Jesse Marino, local performer, musician, singer, songwriter. What's coming up? He's got a gig coming up, so I had him into the studio on Friday, and we did a pre-interview because that was the only time he was available. So I had gone home in between the show, and I changed my clothes, and I came back, and I put on this sweater. This what I thought was a very kind of a Christmassy sweater, blue knit wool sweater. And I put it, and Keith looked at me before, and he just did this thing. He looked up and down and gave me this smile, and I was like, why are you grinning like that? Are you looking at my sweater? He's like, oh, I just never saw that sweater before. And I
So
said,
he liked it.
I said, I've owned this sweater for about 30 years. And he said, yeah, I can tell. Never saw it before. I came walking in here and I think it was Trina said, oh, that's the cutest ugly sweater I've ever seen.
Oh gosh, I was gone home by then. Jeez, I wish I would have seen it.
You will tomorrow. I wore it on air. You tell me what you think.
You didn't take it off after everybody was. Wow, you're brave.
I just thought, even if it's an ugly sweater, and Jesse didn't mind. He looked.
As if he's going to say anything.
Well, he looked really nice. He was wearing all these really fashion-forward pants and a jacket and like a.
And you had the ugly sweater.
And there's me in the ugly sweater. You'll enjoy the interview tomorrow. Thanks, Keith.
I can't wait to see that.
Well, I don't know what that's. I'm gonna.
You must listen to Keith more often.
I'm gonna wrap Keith a present, and when he opens up, it's gonna be Van Gogh's ear and the ugly sweater.
Taped to it.
Okay, so now coming up on my next interview.
Yes.
It's Gabrielle Turgeon. What a delightful 18-year-old. Waiting till the opening clip and the closing clip, you get to hear her sing.
Oh, good. I can't wait.
Yeah, so stay tuned for that. We'll be right back.
Recently, the Government of Ontario established a $100 million affordability fund to help Ontarians who don't qualify for low-income conservation programs ease the burden of their electricity bill. Whether you rent or own your home, as long as you pay your electric bill, you could qualify. There are 3 levels of support available. The first is a home energy kit with upgrades like smart power bars and LED light bulbs. The second includes Energy Star appliances that help keep things cool during the hot summer months. The third is for electrically heated homes so that your power bills don't break the bank during those long Canadian winters. Plus, all upgrades, including installation, are completely free of charge. Visit affordabilityfund.org or call 1-855-494-FUND to find out if you qualify.
Welcome back to Mornings with Lou Ann and Tim, and joining me now, your home for the holidays, it's Gabrielle Turgeon. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to ONNtv.
Thank you. Thank you.
Your first time in the studio?
Yes.
Your father's been on the show. I interviewed your dad when he was doing the summer program at Algoma University, the music program.
Yes, the Great Lakes International Summer Music Institute.
That's the one. Yes. So your father is Ed.
Yes.
And your mother is, I forget her first name.
Anne.
Ed and Anne Turgeon, for those of you who don't know, they are concert pianists. Mm-hmm. They are internationally renowned concert pianists.
Yes.
And they've come back to Sault Ste. Now, was the Turgeon family originally from Sault Ste. Marie?
No.
No, okay.
No. Yeah.
But your uncle is here.
Yes.
Dr. Turgeon.
Yes.
Gene, probably best known to people in the community, apart from being a great doctor, is that he's one of the comedics.
Yes.
One of those funny doctors who sings and raises money for great causes.
Yes.
Yeah. So music is in your genes.
I would say so, yeah.
When did you come to Sault Ste. Marie?
I came in 2013. Yes.
Okay, so that's only 7 years ago.
Yeah.
So how old are you now, Gabby?
I'm 18.
18 years old. So you were, was that a weird transition for you? Did you come from the States?
It was, yeah. It was quite a big transition, but...
Where had you been living?
I was in Florida, South Florida, yeah.
So then you arrive into, okay, had you ever experienced winters like this before?
No, not really. That was a big shock.
Oh, and then also you're just getting ready, like, just becoming a teenager, and you leave all your friends behind.
Yeah.
But then you quickly got into musical theater once you got to Korah Collegiate, right?
Yes.
Tell me a little bit about the shows that people may have seen you in, because I know I saw you in several productions. Yes. Go ahead. What was your first show under the directorship of Deneen Williams?
My first show, directed by Deneen Williams, was Phantom of the Opera in 2015.
Okay.
2015, and then
you played the title role of Christine. Well,
yes.
The lead role of Christine.
Yes. And
who was your Phantom?
Evan Williams.
It was Evan Williams, right? And who was your Raoul?
Winston Sullivan.
Hey, and Winston's doing great things. He was just here. He just played Shrek recently in Sault Ste.
Right, I had heard about.
He's back in Toronto again.
Yeah, I see him from time to time at
school. Do you down in Toronto?
Yeah.
Is he at U of T also?
He is, yeah.
Okay, so you did Christine Daae in Phantom, and then what came next for you?
And then I was Jasmine in Aladdin.
Right.
That was the next year, and then Cinderella in Cinderella.
You played Cinderella.
Yes.
Okay, so under Deneen, I mean, she directs you musically, and stage direction and musical direction. But you've been studying since you were how old?
I started taking voice lessons for Phantom of the Opera when that was my first.
Are you kidding me?
First time taking voice lessons was for that.
Oh, but you obviously had. I mean, you had natural talent.
I don't know. I don't know.
Well,
about
I mean, I would never have known her. I heard you sing the role. I would never have known that you hadn't been studying for more than just for that show.
Yeah.
Who did you study with here?
I studied with Agnes McCarthy.
Yes. Okay, that's where you started. You were about 13.
Yeah, about 13, 14. Yeah.
Wild, and nothing before that.
I studied violin for many years, but I didn't take voice privately until Phantom.
Do you still play violin?
I do. I don't. I'm not taking lessons anymore because it's just hard to keep both instruments at the level that I would want.
Right.
But I do try to play from time to time, and
rosin up the bow once in a while.
Yeah, just keep the skills.
Your parents are both pianists. Your mother also plays.
She plays cello.
The cello.
Yeah.
Okay. Wow. Okay. So there's music in the family, but not so much the vocals in your immediate family.
Yeah, not so much. There's Jean, who's
Jean sings, and then his daughter Cheryl that I work with. Beautiful piano player, musical director, and Cheryl can also sing, but we don't hear enough of that.
Yeah.
Okay, so while you were working on the shows with Deneen and studying with Agnes, was it in your mind, I want to do this, I want to continue to pursue this? When did you start thinking about seriously start thinking about studying music and looking into it as a career?
Well, I always kind of saw music as a potential career path, just growing up with my parents and seeing where that took them. And when I was in Florida, I was really considering taking violin to the next level. Okay. That was kind of where I was when I first moved here, that was my first instrument. And then I started singing, and I was like, I really, really like this a lot. It kind of spoke to me a lot more than violin did for me personally. So I started thinking, well, maybe there's something here that I could do something with this. And I did some competitions at the provincial level and got really great results there. So I was encouraged by that maybe.
When you're performing in those competitions at the provincial level, the awards, are there financial awards that then help you continue to pursue your studies?
There are, yes.
And are there other opportunities for you to go and attend workshops or that kind of thing through that stuff, or how does that work?
Yes, basically the main competition that I did throughout my high school years studying with Aggie was the Ontario Music Festival Association Provincial Finals.
Okay.
And how that works is we have a local music festival here, the Sault Ste. Marie Music Festival, and students compete there, and students are recommended at the local level to represent Sault Ste. Marie in the provincial competition. And then you go there, you perform, it's usually 3 songs, and then they have what they call the adjudication, where they will give you comments, and it's kind of like a mini lesson, mini masterclass type thing. And then after that, they'll announce the winners, and there's a cash award associated with that. So yeah, lots of great opportunities there.
Master classes, one of my favorite things.
Yes.
I studied a little bit at Banff School of Fine Arts.
Right. Okay.
In musical theater. And for those, a master class basically is when you're given a piece to perform, and you perform it in front of a class, and there is a teacher, instructor, adjudicator with you, and then after you performed it, they basically dissect the performance and the piece, and they work you through it, and your entire class gets to watch you work through the song. It's amazing, isn't it, when you watch somebody else and you can hear how things change in someone's performance just by doing what an instructor says, whether it's raising your eyebrows or going for the soft palate or changing a breath control, how it can affect the overall sound, isn't it?
Absolutely.
It's exciting, isn't it?
Yeah, for sure.
Do you do that kind of stuff? So now you've gone on, you made the decision to pursue music post-secondary. Did you have to audition for the program at U of T?
Yes.
How did that go? I mean, how does that work?
They actually, different schools have, I auditioned at a handful of different schools. I auditioned at McGill, UBC, Western, and U of T.
Okay.
And each school is different in what they require for the audition. Yeah. And you can either do it live or through a video submission. I chose to do all mine live. Which was,
Do you have to provide, do you bring your own accompanist, or does the university provide one?
You can choose. I was lucky enough that my mother accompanied me for all my auditions. I was very lucky. But
it's nice to have a world-class pianist accompanying you for your university audition.
Yeah, you know, it doesn't hurt. And I believe this is going a bit back now, but they required, I think it was 5 or 6 pieces that had to be at the grade 10 RCM level.
They do that many for your audition? 5 to 6?
They only heard about 2.
Because they want a selection. They want to be able to choose.
Yes.
You have to submit. Be prepared to sing.
Be
whatever.
Prepared to sing. Yeah, that amount.
Were you stressed? Were you nervous? Or were you okay?
I was a bit nervous, but I really wanted to get into U of T. So
that was your first choice?
Yes, that was my first choice. So.
And there you went.
Yeah, there we are.
What year are you at now?
I'm in second year. Yeah.
Do you do masterclass stuff at U of T? Or does that come later?
There are some opportunities at U of T for master classes, but it's a very large program.
Right.
And I mean, it's not just the undergraduate program. There's also the master's program, and there's the opera school, which is a different thing as well. So,
what are your intentions? How far do you want to go?
I want to go as far as I can.
Would you do the opera at U of T?
I would do the opera at U of T. I'll definitely be applying there for my postgraduate.
Post. But in the meantime, there's something exciting going on right now. Because this is why I actually reached out to you. I sent you a message through Messenger saying, Gabrielle, are you going to be home for Christmas? I want to talk to you about this competition.
Yes.
That you're submitting for. $10,000 prize, is that correct?
Yes.
And this is an American competition?
Yes.
Okay, so tell me about the logistics of this.
So it's run by the National Young Arts Foundation, which is based in Miami.
Okay.
And basically, they're very heavily funded arts organization in the States. And I had heard about it through some mutual friends that I met at summer music programs. It's for ages 15 to 18 across all artistic disciplines. They have different categories. So my category is classical voice. And you have to be a U.S. citizen, which luckily I am. Yes, I'm dual citizen. And they get about 7,000 applications per year to be in this program. Then they choose about 700 to go to the final, what they call Young Arts Week, where they have a competition and also public concerts that you perform throughout Miami, master classes, lessons, all sorts of different things. And then at the end of that,
700 people get to do that?
Yeah, across all disciplines. So in my discipline, I think there's only 10 people. Maybe it's a very small.
Are you one of them?
I'm one of the 10. Yeah, I'm one of those people.
You're doing that?
Yeah.
You're going to Miami to do that?
Yes. Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
When?
Yeah, it's I think I leave January 4th, and then it's a week long. Yeah.
Oh my gosh!
Yeah.
I mean, that alone is fantastic.
Yeah,
and then beyond that, they continue to determine if
they continue. Yeah, throughout the week, they kind of judge your preparedness and what you're bringing to the table for the concerts and for the master classes. And then at the end of the week, the people you've been working with determine an overall winner, and then those people get $10,000. So $10,000.
How many get the money?
I'm not sure.
I hope you get the money. When do you find out?
Yeah. I think I would find out.
Like when you're down there?
Probably at the end of the week. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
You can come back. I don't even care if you don't get the money. Come back and tell me what the experience was like.
Yeah, I will.
You're not going to be here. You're going to go back in Toronto again, aren't you?
Yeah.
Okay, maybe in the spring you'll come back and visit me again.
Yeah.
Hey, okay, so what we saw coming into the show was an audition video. That would be something that you would submit.
Yes.
To get an audition for something to go further, right?
Yes, this is actually the video that I sent to this competition.
The one that we saw coming into the show.
Yes.
Now, the one coming out of the show was a concert you did at U of T?
Yeah, about a month ago we had what we call a noon hour concert with all the people in my year performing a selection, and just a fun little
thanks
concert.
for bringing those clips in for us, so the audience, because I asked if you could do a number for us, but your parents are out of town right now.
Yes.
And you're just home yourself, so it's a little too rushed. Maybe another time you'll come and do a live number for us, but I'm glad we got to share with the audience your gorgeous voice.
Thank you.
It's matured so beautifully.
Thank you so much.
Wow. You're going to be singing this Christmas with the family around the piano with the
I'm actually performing at my local church, St. Andrew's United, on Christmas Eve. I'll be performing O Holy Night and It Came Upon the Midnight Clear.
I might come just to hear you sing.
Yeah.
No kidding.
Yeah.
St. Andrew's?
St. Andrew's, yeah.
On the 25th?
24th.
24th, Christmas Eve?
Yeah.
What time?
That I don't know.
Okay, we'll find out. St. Andrew's, check it out, the concert. Gabrielle Turgeon, so nice to see you again.
Great to see you, yes.
Always been
Thank you
a bit of
so
a
much.
fan of yours.
Oh,
Say hi to your
thank you.
parents from
Yes,
me.
absolutely.
And we'll be back with Luann right after this. Guess what?
What?
Tomorrow's Christmas Eve!
Yes, it is already. Man, are you ready?
What do I have to do?
Nothing. Except get ready for a holiday.
I might want to go and hear a concert, like I might want to go hear Gabrielle sing.
Yeah.
I definitely am going to go visit Keith's grandma.
Oh, awesome.
Pop in and visit my sister.
Good.
And then it's home to pack.
Then it's home to pack. Oh, no. Pack.
Bathing suits and suntan lotion.
Oh, I'm so jealous.
You'll have a fabulous time with your family.
Yeah, I will. I will, definitely. For
All
sure.
right.
We'll see you tomorrow morning. Thanks so much to Casey's Security. Bye.